Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something profoundly different. We aren't looking at, complex data or scientific research this time. Instead, we're unpacking a deeply emotional narrative from our source material. It's the incredible story of a young boy named Ravi. Let's just get right into it. Have you ever sacrificed your most beloved possession for your biggest dream? Seriously, I want you to stop and just think about that for a second. What's the one material thing you hold dearest right now? And, well, what would it realistically take for you to willingly give it away? It's a heavy question, right? Keep your own personal answer in mind as we trace Ravi's absolutely powerful journey of sacrifice.
Okay, let's dive into this. Chapter 1, A Big Dream. Our source material introduces us to this little boy named Ravi. And Ravi wasn't just any kid. He had his eyes glued firmly to the sky. His ultimate dream was to become a pilot. It's such a beautifully lofty goal, isn't it? Filled with hope and just this boundless imagination to rise way above his current circumstances. He didn't want to just, be a passenger in a plane. He literally wanted to command the aircraft.
Which brings us to Chapter 2, The Reality of Poverty. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer stark contrast here. On one side, we've got this boundless, sky-high dream of becoming a pilot. But on the flip side, the crushing weight of Ravi's daily reality. His family's financial situation was, it was very poor. His dad was chronically ill, which meant a steady income was pretty much out of the picture. And his mom was just constantly burdened with the massive worry of keeping the household afloat. It's a deeply grounding reality. Those financial burdens were incredibly heavy, creating this almost impossible friction between where Ravi was and where he desperately wanted to be.
And that leads into Chapter 3, A Difficult Decision.
So one day, an unexpected and frankly terrifying hurdle arrives. It's an official notice from Ravi's school, and it reads simply and coldly, "If the fees are not paid, the name will be struck off." Man, imagine the intense threat that single sentence posed. I mean, for a kid dreaming of the skies, formal education isn't just school, it's literally the runway. Without it, the dream of becoming a pilot logically dies before it ever takes off. This ultimatum forced young Ravi into a very, very difficult corner.
Let's walk through the timeline of how he handled this immense pressure, because it's a lot. One whole night just sleeplessly thinking about the notice. Picture that, just a young kid lying awake in the dark, wrestling with an undeniably adult financial problem. Then the morning comes. He makes his choice, taking his most beloved possession. And by that day, the deed is done. He's selling his toy airplane. Deliberately sit with that timeline for a second, the emotional weight of a child staying up all night to ultimately decide he has to give up the absolute very thing that brings him joy just to survive. It's profoundly moving.
Moving on to Chapter 4, The Biggest Sacrifice.
The source makes it devastatingly clear right here. He sold his toy airplane just to pay the school fees. The heartbreaking irony of that is impossible to ignore. Ravi had to sell his physical symbol of flight, the literal toy that represented his ultimate dream, just to keep his education and his actual future alive. He sacrificed the symbol of the dream to save the reality of it. When you think about it, that is a level of maturity, prioritization, and foresight that is absolutely staggering for a child.
Chapter 5, Support of Teacher and School. Let's move to and see how this builds, because it turns into something pretty spectacular. Step 1, the teacher discovers the true source of those school fees. The sheer emotional impact of that hits, and Step 2, tears actually come to the teacher's eyes. They recognize the profound, quiet dignity of what this little boy has done. And then comes the vital Step 3. The entire school unites to help Ravi. This cascading positive reaction from the community rallying behind him, it completely changes the narrative. They made absolutely sure that his sacrifice wasn't the bitter end of his story, but rather a catalyst for their collective support.
Which brings us to our final chapter, Flight of the Dream. The source confirms something incredible. Today, Ravi is a successful pilot. No way, right? You just can't help but smile at that outcome. The community's help, his family's endurance, and most importantly, his own staggering early sacrifices, it all paid off. He actually did it. He is up there right now commanding the aircraft exactly like he dreamed when he was a little boy staring at a plastic toy plane. And this brilliantly illustrates something essential. Looking back on his challenging journey, adult Ravi shared this incredibly powerful quote. "I didn't sell my dream, I made it come true." Wow. He realizes that giving up the toy wasn't abandoning his goal. It was the ultimate investment in it. That toy was just plastic and metal. The dream was always within him. He traded the comforting symbol for the actual, necessary stepping stone. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with the very same reflection we started with, but now carrying the full, magnificent weight of Ravi's journey. Ravi let go of his favorite toy, his most beloved possession, to keep his dream alive. What are you willing to sacrifice for yours? Are you merely holding on to the comforting symbols of your goals, or are you actually willing to make the hard, sometimes painful choices to achieve them? It is a deeply inspiring thought to carry with you today. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack this incredible story. Keep learning, keep pushing forward, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.